Today, we've got a brutally honest review of the shooter body count and a cheat for Infamous 2.
Plus, we'll have all the details about Modern Warfare 3's Spec Ops mode. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play, the show that made a deal with the devil. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I am Morgan Webb. It's how we get renewed.
Coming up on today's show, Alex Simweiss talks with the godfather of Tekken about what's next for the franchise. Then we got the latest on Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops mode straight from Infinity Ward.
Plus, we're going to spruce up Medieval 2 Total War with some great user-created content in Mod This. And later, a major WTF. We're going to show you some amazingly bad Xbox indie games that are all produced by one insane developer.
It's insane just to produce a game, so think about this guy. But first, it's time for the game that has nothing to do with Ice-T's band.
When the first-person shooter body count was announced, we were promised amazing destruction and design inspired by Lady Gaga.
And what we got was something entirely different. Here's our review.
If you value your life, run.
Body count is a first-person shooter in the most generic way imaginable. You know how sometimes primetime crime drama shows will have a video game-centric episode, and they'll mock up some fake, nondescript military shooter to run on the TV as the violent game the disturbed perp was playing obsessively? Body count is like someone made that fake game into a real game. It is the shooter equivalent of those dollar store products that just come in white boxes labeled cereal or beer.
Welcome to the network.
The campaign is essentially a string of bot matches held together by a paper-thin story. You play the role of some guy. You are an operative for a private security force called the Network, tasked with preventing wars by indiscriminately killing lots of people. The Network is trying to track down a warmongering character called the Target. I'm not making this up. It's really this bland. It's a short campaign, but it still manages to recycle all of the maps in the game 2 or 3 times, usually with a small area of the map open or closed off in an effort to make it feel different in some way. Everything boils down to kill everyone. There are no side missions, no secret items to collect, no anything other than your primary objective. Body count half-heartedly attempts to implement a skill shot system, but this is limited to various types of headshots and explosion kills. There's no fanfare or reward for such precision targeting, and little reason to do anything but plow through the absurdly stupid AI. To be fair, the game works fine. Controls are responsive, it does look nice at times, and the multiplayer is functional if uninspired. Basic deathmatch and team deathmatch, no surprises here. Body count seems like it once had aspirations of greatness, but the end product feels tired and unfinished. With so many top-notch shooters already available and in the pipeline for this fall, why even bother? 2 reused maps out of 5.
When I think of Call of Duty, I imagine shooting an enemy and then yelling into the mic that my dead foe's mother is a sex worker. Spec Ops isn't about such claims. Instead, this mode is all about working together with a friend whose mother could or could not be a sex worker. We went on location to Call of Duty XP for a closer look at the game mode.
Team, ground forces cannot get to the LZ. It's just the 2 of you from here on out.
So, happy to be joined by Robert Bowling, creative strategist over at Infinity Ward, to talk about Spec Ops. This is something that really has become about an equal third to both the single player and the multiplayer in the game as time has gone on. What has been the philosophical approach towards it this time?
Well, this time we really wanted to blur the experience between what is a single player experience and what is a multiplayer experience. And what we did was we took all the stuff players love from multiplayer, like progressive ranking, matchmaking, leaderboards, all that competitive aspect, and then also brought in all the fun aspects like kill streaks, customizing your weapon with attachments, buying new gear on the fly, and then adding in unique stuff just to Spec Ops, like a currency system, like the infinite wave-based mode, to give you not only the best of both worlds, but a completely unique experience.
One of the unique experiences in the new survival mode is the ability to upgrade your firepower in the armories.
The cool thing is, in survival mode, where you have the armories with the kill streaks and everything, it's an infinite wave-based mode, so it's never ending. So you might get to a higher wave, but you're always having stuff thrown at you that's more difficult, that's even harder, that's forcing you to change up your tactics. So that's what we love about it, is you are constantly trying to find that new strategy, that new power setup that is going to get you even further. And since it's progressive ranking, you're always unlocking new stuff to try even more tactics. Spec Ops ranking is completely different from multiplayer ranking. So you're ranking up separately in Spec Ops, and it's sort of the same curve as you expect from competitive multiplayer. So as you're playing through, you're killing guys, you're getting XP, you're ranking up, you're unlocking more Spec Ops missions, you're unlocking more things in the armories in Spec Ops survival mode, and then you're also unlocking titles and emblems that for the first time ever will actually carry over into multiplayer as well.
While there is plenty of new in Modern Warfare 3 Spec Ops, they haven't forgotten about the thrill of jumping in an AC-130 and laying down covering fire for your co-op comrade.
Good kill, good kill.
Since this is a co-op focused mode, we love allowing you to play everyone solo. So we looked at how can we allow you to still have a similar experience solo, but then also have a wider variety of missions that require and force that two-man co-op environment.
Enemy attack dogs near your position. Be advised.
Obviously, I loved it the first time around. I cannot wait to play it again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Robert.
Hey.
Coming up on the show, we're going to embrace the fad that is email and answer your questions in the X-Play inbox. Plus, get all the details about Tekken Hybrid, and Kristen Adams will help you score trophies for Infamous 2. Then we're going to mod the hell out of Medieval 2 Total War, and you'll be yelling WTF when we show you Xbox indie titles like No, Luca, No.
No, Luca.
No, Luca, No. And load. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Now, if you ever wrote a question to X-Play and hoped we read it on the air, now's your time to hit record on your DVR or grab a loved one and explain what the hell's happening. Let's find out what's in the X-Play inbox. Okay, our first question comes from Jacio, or Hasio if you're Puerto Rican, who writes, so I've been hearing whispers that Sony and Microsoft could be teaming up to possibly release one super console. What are your thoughts on the likelihood of this coming to pass?
I mean, is there like some kid just sitting on the playground going, and then Microsoft and Nintendo are gonna get together and then they're gonna make the best controller ever?
It's not gonna happen. It's not happening.
Thank you, Adam. Next, Asa wants to know, what's the best way to make rivals like Mario and Bowser or Sonic and Eggman settle their differences, other than drinking beer?
Well, I would have gone for something a little stronger than beer. I mean, you know.
Tequila. Or just beating each other until they really kind of
much more
bleed
fun
on the
that way,
inside.
isn't it?
Yeah, just
More
kind of like,
fun.
you know, rumble in the jungle or the thrill of Manila. Yeah, inside's bleeding.
Methamphetamines, too. We also got a really nice letter from Jake, very nice, who writes, Blair Herter is sexy. Yep, that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you, Jake. Question mark. And finally, Ray is a little upset. He writes, I like your list for the fall big ones. I agree with it, but you didn't say anything about Gears of War 3. Morgan earmuffs, this is kind of abusive. Why didn't you put that in the list? It deserves to be in big ones for the fall first-person shooter games. First-person shooter game.
Yeah, Gears is not a first-person shooter. Gears is a third-person shooter.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had it in the other big ones.
Yep.
It's been big one.
Yep.
That big one has
It's been big
there
one.
with it joined together in a moment of celebration.
So much abusive language. Viewers, thank you for all your questions. Remember, you can get in on this love fest by dropping a line to xplay@g4tv.com. Now, the Total War series is all about watching hundreds of soldiers clash in battle and meet an untimely death. Now, that's fun and all, but when the carnage gets old, it's time to call in the mod community and inject some life into a PC classic. It's time to mod this.
Get ready to take command of your army and extend your reign in Medieval 2, because we've got 2 essential Total War mods just for you. Broken Crescent is a total conversion modification, which moves Medieval 2 to the Middle East in the years 1174 AD to 1400 AD. It's all-encompassing, highly polished, and introduces 30 new factions as well as over 250 new units to the battlefield. Religion has been overhauled to reflect the tensions in the region at the time, and to top it off, the recruitment system in the newest 2.0 version adds even more strategic depth to an already excellent campaign.
Only half our force remain.
Of course, it was only a matter of time before someone realized Total War and Lord of the Rings could make a perfect pair. Add them together, and you've got Third Age Total War. Third Age brings you into Middle-earth, where you will play on an extremely detailed map ripped straight from the novels, which includes more than 100 settlements taken straight from Middle-earth lore. But beware, this mod is no walk through the Shire, as the new campaign and battle AI will force you to make tough decisions and will attack you with all the might Mordor has to muster. So what are you waiting for? Breathe new life into Medieval 2 and mod this.
Stick around, there is more X-Play on the way, including some indie games you should never buy. And a cheat for Infamous 2. We'll be right back.
For all the latest news, reviews, and everything video game related, just go to facebook.com/xplay and click like. Now, when the PS3 launched, it didn't have trophies. The console gave you a reprieve from compulsive item collection and other metagames. Today, my friends, is a much different story. Good thing Kristen Adams is here to help you cheat.
Some trophies are a chore to get. You'll be asked to kill a bajillion enemies or replay the whole game on the hardest difficulty. Thankfully, Infamous 2 makes trophies fun, especially if you like picking fights or scaling landmarks and plummeting to the earth. This cheat shows you what to do.
So you've beat the beast and become the hero, but you don't want to put down Infamous 2 just yet. I don't blame you. Let's do some trophy hunting together.
Let's do this.
They stand taller than the rest. Now it's time to climb them. Get to the tippity top of the 3 tallest buildings in New Moray, and you'll earn the Mountaineer Trophy. The first building is the clock tower on the main island. It's a pretty straightforward climb with a little juice to get you there. Hop up on the spike and take in the view. The tallest building in the game is the Ice Tower in the Gasworks district. You're going to be doing the electric slide up this behemoth for most of the way to the top. Now let's head back to the main island for the final climb. The Cathedral. Parkour up the bell tower, jump on top of the ball, and it's trophy time. Hold it. Before you Geronimo off the top of those buildings you spent the last 10 minutes climbing, there's a couple trophies you can earn for descending with style. Jump off the cathedral and use your static thrusters to float for 130 meters before you hit the ground to get the Nothing Can Bring Me Down trophy. And when you've taken in the view from the top of the ice tower, make sure to thunder drop off the top. When you hit the bottom, you'll earn the, wait for it, the Thunder Flop trophy. Today's final treasure is the Knockout and the Blackout trophy. For this, you'll have to defeat 50 enemies in powered down areas while no missions are active. Powered down areas look like this on your map. You'll also recognize powered down areas because the minimap will go fuzzy like this. Oh, and the game tells you you're entering a powered down area. The bad news, in these areas you'll get sucker punched by more difficult enemies and you're probably gonna die. A couple of times. The good news, your kills stack up even if you die, so keep taking your swings and you'll earn the Knockout and Blackout trophy. Eventually. Cheating never hurt so good.
For more Infamous 2 cheats and all the latest tips and tricks, just head to g4tv.com/cheat.
Thank you, Kristen. The Xbox Indie Games Marketplace is a great place to check out quirky new games from fledgling game designers. It's also a whorehouse where shady developers can make a buck selling you nonsensical garbage that isn't good enough for the iPhone. Case in point, these gems from Silver Dollar Games. Silver Dollar Games is a surprisingly prolific developer of titles you'd never want to play.
How dare you bring me such terrible garbage?
Each one seems like an extended minigame, like Load, which has you piloting sperm, to No Luca No, where you prevent your cat from eating your breakfast.
No, Luca.
One of the best is Don't Be Nervous Talking to Girls.
Welcome to Don't Be Nervous Talking to Girls.
You choose from a series of multiple choice questions in order to win the woman's phone number. It's like Mass Effect, if the goal of that game was to throw your penis in a lady dressed like an extra from Married with Children.
I have to find out something for a friend. What is the birthstone for the month of May?
But the best game is probably Try Not to Fart. You have to hit the correct series of buttons to prevent slip-ups like this.
What kind of job do you have?
I live downtown. It's
That's disgusting.
Yes, this is what video games have come to. Thanks, Silver Dollar Games.
So, do you do anything adventurous?
After the break, Alex Simwise gets all the details about the loaded collection Tekken Hybrid straight from the godfather of the series. We'll be right back.
Epictober is G4's biggest month of the year, and it kicks off October 3rd.
Welcome back. You came back? If you're a fan of the Tekken series, there's more to look forward to than that crossover with Street Fighter. Tekken Hybrid for the PlayStation 3 includes an HD remake, a CG feature film, and a prologue to a new arcade game. Alex Simwise got all the details straight from the guy in charge.
I'm here with Harada-san, who's the series director for Tekken. Tell us a bit about Tekken Hybrid.
It has 3 different contents included. There's Tekken Blood Vengeance, which is the 3D full-length animation film, which is in theaters this summer. Not only that, but there's Tekken Tag Tournament HD, which is the original Tag Tournament, which has been remastered in HD. Also our latest game, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. There's a prologue version included. All 3 of these come out on Blu-ray discs for a very reasonable price.
One of my favorite Tekken characters is Alyssa. She seems to be very much at the forefront for what we've seen. Is she one of the main characters in this game?
In the game, she isn't necessarily a main character per se, but in Bloodline Vengeance the movie, she really is one of the central characters to the plot. And that's why she's at the forefront at Gamescom.
Tell us about the new Devil Jin. What's he all about? He looks scary.
Originally, the design appeared in the movie Bloodline Vengeance, and then we kind of took that character design and applied it to the prologue, so that's unique to the game because it doesn't even appear in the arcade version.
So how does Blood Vengeance, the film, fit into the Tekken universe?
Timeline-wise, the movie plot takes place between Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 in the series, but it's not totally linear. It's kind of a parallel or a side story that took place too in that time. The main focus when we were creating the plot for the movie was actually to come up with something that people who didn't know the Tekken storyline that well could enjoy as a movie. In that regard, I think we succeeded.
When are the games looking to be released?
Tekken Hybrid will be released later this year around the holiday season.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing the game in the shop soon.
Before we run out of time, as we always do, I want to take a second and talk about what we've been playing. I have been playing Resistance 3, and it makes me very, very happy. I like solid controls like that and shooting monsters in the head because it game's like squish.
That's your happy face?
Yes.
Okay.
I've also been playing Resistance 3. I did the review, and it was one of those games that when the game was over, I literally was like, again, and I started back at the beginning because I wanted to finish leveling up my weapons.
And the game just feels good to play.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have both obviously played through Resistance 3. I just started playing it. However, I started playing it a couple days after I got a chance to play Rage at PAX, and while I feel like the shooting does feel very similar and it feels very smooth, I just don't want to play linear game. After Rage, it's like, I can go clear out this nest of mutants, or I can go drive around. I can do either one.
You don't get to compare it to a future game. This is present game.
But I just like how it's like, oh my God, choice. My life is so bereft of many opportunities to take a chance.
I escaped the mundane non-choices of my life by playing video games. more than that. However, it is pretty freaking awesome. And upgrading weapons is something that should be in every shooter for the rest of time.
I play games because that's how I can succeed.
I'm sorry. Here's a look at what's coming up on X-Play.
Tomorrow on X-Play, you don't want to miss our exclusive hands-on demo of NBA 2K12. Find out what big changes are in store for this year's edition, including classic matchups in glorious black and white. Plus, Kristen Adams takes you to the front lines for a first-hand look at Call of Duty XP. Then we've got a world premiere trailer that'll rock your world. Get your first look at space combat in the new trailer for the PlayStation 3 exclusive Starhawk. All that and more, don't miss it.
Plus, the top 5 RPG cliches.
I bet-
Only 5?
We had to narrow it down to 5, and I'm interested to see what people at home are thinking in advance and then comparing that to what we came up with.
I imagine Dewy Eyes has to be on one of them.
Oh yes, those sad, like, oh.
Looking off, and then kind of the yelp.
You know what, I hate the chosen one cliche. That one drives me insane.
That's your special, you're destined for something?
Thanks
Not
for
gonna
watching.
happen.
Right?
You suck.
Pretty much.